How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be remaking an absolute classic, 3 of a kind, Baby Cakes. This song fucking screams 2000s garage. The track even went to #1 in the charts and they performed it on Top of the Pops. Here's a snippet. This song has been played in countless McDonald's car parks by chavs all across the country. This is how you make it in Ableton. Great, so firstly, we're going to need some drums. These drums are from my UK Garage Volume 2 pack. You can get that from the link in the description. The pack has over 300 samples for making the sickest UK Garage. The original track does not have much bass in the low ends, as you can hear. But I thought I'd modernise this and increase the bass a little bit, so I've put a boost on the drums loop, just increasing the volume of the kick drum. Without it. With it. Now we've got the drums down, we can move on to the bass. So this is what they sound like together. The bass sound is really simple. It's a preset from my Speed Garage pack, but let's make it quickly from scratch. So all we've got to do is go to Initiate Preset, pitch this down 2 octaves, put a filter on it, put it to maybe 24, put it back, boost it. All it is a sub bass. Let's have a look at the MIDI. So the MIDI is where the magic happens. So it's actually quite complicated. It took me a while to figure out. But essentially we're in D minor. So let's just set the scale, D minor. It's almost like a pluck bass, like on a guitar. So he's sort of switching between D and then up. So let's just solo that. Hear what's going on. So yeah, it's almost like a rhythm bass on guitar, but all of them follow the exact same pattern. So this could obviously actually be up here. So it's a da da da, and then it switches da da da, and the same da da da, and then the same reverse. As you can see, it's a pretty simple pattern, and there's not a lot of character to the bass sound itself. It's really just sub. But having such a simple bass allows for the vocal to really shine through the track. Next, we have the Pluck. Let's solo it. For me, this is the most iconic part of the whole track, and that is the sort of tone that you remember when you listen to the track. So I've just used the bell preset for my Speed Garage Volume 1 pack. The link for that's obviously in the description. But what you can do is use Ableton's own Collision. So let's have a look and see what we can get done. So if you go to Collision, Mallets, and let's play around with the different hits. So we can try this marimba. Let's try a few different ones. So that sounds about right, but what we've got to do is probably make it a little bit shorter. So let's find a way to decrease the time of it. So here you can decrease the decay. Let's hear it. And I just want you to know that I think I love the world. We'll take it step by step because I'm not something you own. So I don't think this one's quite right, so let's try a few other ones. Let's try Bells Deep. This Bells Mellow sounds good. Decrease the decay. We could try pitching it up, so let's just grab a MIDI and pitch it up by 12. Let's hear what that sounds like with the whole track. Baby cakes, you just don't know how I like it down low. And I just want you to know that I think I love the world. We'll take it step by step because I'm not something you own. Baby cakes, you just don't know how I like it down low. we've got to do is add a bit of reverb. So I've done this from here, so on the return channel, and then you can mix it in like this. You could obviously add it straight on top, but I've gone for this way. Then you sort of get more of a floaty vibe to it. So I've got this reverb here. I've then also taken out the low end. So this is cutting the EQ this is cutting the low end of the reverb, so there's not as much low end being reverberated. Great, if you want to have a look at the MIDI, this is what it looks like. Feel free to pause it and copy this here. Now we're going to move on to the effects. The first effect I've got is this kick build.
I just want you to know that I think our love will grow. We'll take it step by step because I'm not something you hold. Baby cakes, you just don't know.
So this kick is just taken from the drum loop here. I then just added it, so it's 4 to the floor.
I just want you to know that I think our love will grow.
And then stamped it down.
We'll take it step by step because I'm not something you hold.
So on that, we also have an EQ. So this is just taking out some of the low end. So let's have a look at this. So showing the automation.
I just want you to know that I think our love will grow. We'll take it step by step because I'm not something you hold.
So yeah, this is a really simple effect, which I don't actually hear that much in today's track. So feel free to utilize this, use it on your own tracks. I think it sounds pretty good. Just make sure you sort of cut out a lot of the stuff just before the drop and chuck in some effects. Yeah, let's now move on to the other effects. So this is the first effect on its own. So to create this, I actually did a bit of processing. So let's go to Speed Garage Volume 2 pack. And let's find the right one. So, but it sounds like this. But then what I've done is added a delay. So go to delay. Let's go for an echo. Something like that. I've then frozen it. And then reversed it. And then I just added, so if you go on here, and you can do this little scoop like this.
Step by step because I'm not something you hold. Baby cakes, you just don't know.
I mean, it doesn't sound the exact same because I think I used this delay last time. But yeah, it's pretty similar.
Baby cakes, you just don't know. Baby cakes, you just don't know. How I.
The rest of the effects are just white noise sweeps. Got this little effect. And lastly, this one. Just make sure you have a side chain. This way the kick can punch through the mix. If you do have white noise effects on the drop and don't have any side chain, they're really gonna take up all the high end frequencies and your mix is gonna sound fucking terrible. Great, if we just have a look at the last part of the track. So it sounds like this.
I'd like to thank you, through good and bad times, the future just me and you. Whether fun's high, whether fun's low, just one thing I want you to know. I just want you to know, oh, and I think I'll never go, yeah, yeah. I just want you to know, oh, and I think I'll never go, yeah, yeah.
Baby cakes, you just don't know how I don't know.
So as you can see, all I've done is change the bass a little bit. So I've just taken out all these notes. So if you were to grab this same one, and you just take out all of this, all these top ones, you're just making it a lot less complicated. But as you're sort of taking those out, you're adding some extra percussion. So I added this loop from the UK Garage Volume 2 pack. It's just a shaker loop. I mean, you could add any sort of shaker loop. I just felt this one sat nicely with the rest of the track.
I just want you to know, oh, and I think I'll never go, yeah, yeah. I just want you to know, oh, and I think I'll never go, yeah, yeah.
So sometimes less is actually more. Because you've taken out the bass, it means it leaves you room to add more bass in for the drop. And because you've taken out the bass, you'd think, oh, it's going to lack sort of power. And without the shaker, it does. But then simply just adding that shaker really helps to add some more power to it. That has more energy than the actual drop itself.